मामे भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योम गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ॐ सहना भवतु नौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। I will chant the first verse and after that I will go to the third verse which we have to see today. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Mutamate, Samprapte San Nihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Duk. Now I will go to the third verse which we have to see the okay. Nari stanabhara napisham drishtva makhamohavecham Edan mam savasati vikaram manasi chintayavaram. Once repeat. Nari thana bhara navidesham drishtva makhamohavesham Edan mam savasati vikaram manasi vichintaya varam varam. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. So, Shankara right now give the famous fallacies of a human being which are straying a person from the real goals in one's life. Remember, the first verse was pointed towards a grammarian who is old, and he wants to make him to convince that at this age, which you have to seek the human goal, moksha purushartha, without having this idea of seeking this human goal, and you are having some studies in grammar, which will be useful if you have studied before 30 or 40 years. Right now, the time has already near now. You have to focus on to the human goal, moksha, which is in the name of Govinda. Then in the second verse onwards, his advice is towards us as a normal human being. We will be focusing our complete life in the Artha Kama pursuit. Artha and Kama. What is meant by Artha? Artha is having some money to enjoy the worldly life. In order to make the money, I will find out different ways in this world. This is called Artha pursuit. Kama, by the money which I made through different ways, I will enjoy this world. That means I will find out certain happiness through different worldly things by using my money. They are called Artha and Kama. Most of us are normally used to stick in this two pursuit, Artha and Kama, till the last breath. And worldly things really bind the person, and they will not make you to give away or give up. It will be always making you giving some ideas that this is essential in your life. Please, you enjoy me. Thus, we get a titan, a bondage with worldly things, which will be the cause for the death and birth in this world. Samsara gati. Worldly things. That's why Sri Krishna Bhagavan told in the chapter, 5th chapter, Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkhayonaya evate adyandavantau kaunteya nateshu remade buddha. Buddha, a wise, will not enjoy the worldly things after maturing. After a period of time, you will find out the way to come out of these worldly things. If not, there are 84 lakhs of living beings in this world. We may go through these different bodies, different living beings. These worldly things are the main cause for a person to get the birth and death. So he pointed through the second verse, please may you give up the priority to make the money. It is already decided by the Lord how much money you will acquire or accomplish in this life. Please may you concentrate in the moral life and the dharmic way of living, and also please focus on the goal, what we called moksha. Now, in the third verse, he is pointing the natural instinct of a human being who go behind the worldly bondages. If I am a male, in order to make me happy, I should seek a female, I should get a female. This is a natural instinct of a male. Similarly, a female will be also triggered by this same idea. This is a natural instinct. By birth, it is already there. People will put some ideas that you are a human being, you are a male. After a period of time, you should get attracted with a female. You should be in love with a female, and you should marry her, and you should have a household life. All these ideas are already there right from the childhood, by the parents, by the people around us, by the society. Our natural instinct is being made more and more strong and strengthened by the people and the ideas which we collect from this human world. Shankara wants a human being to come out of this natural instinct. See, people used to make some their own imaginations and fallacies by looking each other, opposite sex. Like that, a male looks towards a female looks towards a male. He will suit for me, he will be fit for my imaginations. I would like to share my desires to her, and I should live a life with her. This is a natural instinct of a person. So Shankara points certain body parts of a human being which will be more attractive for a male, and it will become a titan bondage, which may also astray the person from the human pursuit of moksha. See, he is going to explain more and more about this natural instinct, which is a trap of a human being, which is a trap for a human being. All the people in this world, even animals, also live according to their natural instinct. Nobody teaches the natural instincts. It is already preoccupied in one's own mind. As a female, I look at a male. As a male, I look at a female because it's my natural instinct. And he explains certain body parts like a male will be attracted towards a female body. A male will be attracted towards certain parts of the female because it's natural instinct. So Shankara wants to point out natural instincts are just a trap for a human being to go through the death and birth cycle. You already enjoyed your body consciousness, and also you also enjoyed the other body consciousness also in your previous births. Now this is not the time. You got a precious birth called human being birth. You should come out of the natural instinct. I will keep the shloka first right now apart. I want to give you certain tips around this shloka. First, you understand these tips which I am giving. After that, I will come to the explanation of this shloka. I want to say you that somebody asked me, Swamiji, can we come out of this natural instinct? Are you really talking, or you are just giving certain imagination for us? Because 99.9% of human beings live a life according to the natural instinct. We are already having a body, and our body is looking towards outside. Our senses are looking towards outside things. It's all extroverted. How can we come out of this natural setup, what we call natural instinct? As a human being, as a male, I will be attracted with the females. How can he come out of this natural instincts? And also, I have listened from Puranas also, even the rishis got attracted towards certain beautiful women which are born in heaven. And you are trying us to come out of the natural instinct. Really, you have any way to come out of this natural instinct? Can you give some ideas and understanding about this? Then slowly I started to explain, First, I will give you an example about the natural instinct or natural properties. Can we take away or not? We will see. See, iron have a capacity to go down to the bottom of the water. If you put a piece of iron inside the water in a jar, the iron piece will go down below the water, correct? It will go down to the water because iron is not something which floats on the water. We may know that. It's the natural setup of iron because not having any gas inside the molecules or cell, the iron will not float on the water. It just goes just to the bottom of the water. It's the natural setup. It's a natural instinct of an iron. Now, I want to give an example. The same iron is used to make boats and ships, and it floats on water. And we used to cross the water through the ship and boats only. How they made this iron to float on the water? Yes, we apply some technology on the iron, and we make it that technology with the iron together. That technology will make the iron to make a ship, and we will cross in a ship through the water by floating. Applying a technology can make a person to come out of the natural instinct. No problem. This is something true. An iron will always go down below the water if you put the iron directly. If you apply some technology on this iron piece itself, it can be used as a boat also to cross over the ocean. Similarly, spiritual technologies are meant to come out of our natural setup. This is the truth. We don't have much ideas about the spiritual technologies. Yoga is there, mantra japa is there, studying Vedanta is there. Lot of technologies are there. In fact, this is what we call Almigam, Adhyatmic path, a path of spirituality. This logic, this technique is applied through our intellect. How the iron is converted into a ship and we cross with the ship the water by floating. Similarly, we apply certain spiritual technologies. That means we study some spiritual technologies in our life and which will make us to come out of this natural setup. It is also a proven fact by our rishis and the old sages. They have come out of this natural setup because body is something, we call it in Vedanta, mithya, but doesn't exist at any point of time. Something which doesn't exist at any point of time is made sure by the people who are around me, it exists. By the society, by the people around me, by the others who are considered as respective person in the society, also follow that this human body is something true. But really speaking, when we come to study the technologies of spirituality, we come to know that I never became a body at any point of time. We are going to see in the last time of this, after studying this Bhajagovindam or in the path of spirituality, because this Bhajagovindam text is a tool to enter into the real factor about oneself. Adhyatma darshanaya Bhajagovindam iti prakaranam. For the sake of understanding the Advaita Vedanta, Bhajagovindam text is working as a tool to generate certain dispassion towards the worldly things so that one can focus towards this greatest knowledge in the world. So, natural instinct can be taken away by taking one's own life towards spirituality. This is something one has to understand. So never say that I cannot come out of natural setup. I am addicted to this. I am addicted to that, because you didn't find out a technology to come out of the natural setup. These technologies are only available in the spirituality, and you have a teacher. When you have a traditional teacher, you have to consult and you have to study under him or her. This is how we apply our spiritual technologies in our life. Now I will come to the shloka. See, Nari Sthanabhara Nabhi Desham. A male can be attracted towards a female body parts because his natural instinct. Then Shankara says that this is not to be considered as a real factor, that whatever your mind says, it is true. You don't believe that because your mind is not convinced by the real facts. It have only ideas which you have collected from the external world and the people who didn't study the real spirituality. So he want to convey us moham. The word is very confusing. The moham, delusion. You give some extra value for a thing which doesn't have that value. This is called moha. Again, I will repeat. People used to say delusion, moham. You feel certain desire due to delusion on the female body parts, nabhi and sthanam, breast and navel portion. It is believed they are some attractive places for a male. Your attraction is due to the delusion. What is meant by delusion? You give certain value for a thing. That value doesn't there for that thing. Similarly, a female also get attracted. That's why cosmetics are very much famous in this world. That's why dress and luxurious perfumes are very much famous in this world. Why? One need to attract other. It's a big business. We know that. I will tell you, bloom where you are planted. Bhagavan has planted you in a position with a human body, with a skin, with a teeth, with an eyes. You accept it and you bloom where you are planted in that position. That is something beautiful. I want to tell you, don't imitate or don't compare others with your skin, with your tin, with your eyes, or don't get attracted with others' eyes or what others' skin or something like that. Bhagavan has created us completely unique mold. With so much care and genius, he created each and every human being. Don't feel any insecure or inferior about your own body. Your body is created by the Bhagavan with the laws of karma, with a lot of care and genius. Why should you compare with others? Why should you get attracted with others? You have one of the beautiful body given by the Bhagavan. You need not to compare your hair with a film hero. Need not to. You have your own way. Bhagavan has given that. You need not to compare with anybody in the world and don't feel insecure or inferior. Bhagavan says in a proper way. Adi Shankara gives a beautiful clue about our body, you know. Beauty is always skin deep. How much thick our skin? Nothing is there. If you take out the skin, there is no beauty for this body. Beauty is always skin deep. It's millimeters. Less than a millimeter, you know, our skin. You don't see any fallacies in others' body or in your own body. It's all just a delusion. What is delusion? I will repeat again what is meant by moham. A value you give to something which doesn't have that value. Really, this is how we give certain values for certain things, and last we find out that that doesn't have that much value. This is only delusion from myself. It's called fallacy, you know. So Bhagavan says that when our blood is so much energetic, our body is ready to go everywhere in this world, we feel certain things in attraction, you know. It's all just a matter of time. After a period of time, you yourself feel that it's nothing attractive. I doesn't feel any attraction towards that thing, you know. It's only a matter of time. So there is no attraction in anything in the world. Attraction is within you, according to Vedanta. You are the hero according to Vedanta. You are the heroine according to Vedanta. Don't find any heroiness in others. Don't find any heroism in others. You are. You are just. You have to understand this properly. Fine. I am coming to the second line. Don't get attracted by the female body parts, hey Mudha, because this is only a moha avesham triggered by your delusion, avesham, a force to do certain things by seeing certain body, avesham. Don't feel any avesham, an extra force to do certain things, finding out certain body. It's a natural instinct. You can come out of that because your goal is not tied with that fulfillness. You need not to fulfill certain desires to reach your purushartham. Certain desires are just a delusion, a value you give because you don't know how much value it costs. It's an additional value which doesn't exist for that thing, you know. So moha avesham drishtva, after seeing certain body parts of certain female or male, you don't get attracted by your force of your desires. It's only a delusion, what we call. You give an additional value which doesn't exist at any point of time for that part of the body. And a body is saptadadu combination. Medo asti. First, what we eat, the food will become to rasam. That is the first thing. Our dadu, rasam. Rasam means a compost which made of our acids and everything. Rasad rectum, the blood is formed. Saptadadus, Mamsa Vikara, a modification of blood and flesh. He is giving an explanation that this is Mamsa Vikara. Vikara means our food is modified into certain things. Whatever we eat, it will become a compost called rasam. Rasa, the rectum, blood is formed after a period of time. See, there are certain time period to become rectum. Rasad rectum. From the compost, the blood is formed. Rasat rectum tado mamsam. The flesh is formed. The third sadhatu. 7 elements of our body. Rasad rectum tado mamsam. Mamsa metaf prajayate. Metas, the fat, which is very essential for our body. From medas, medo asti. Bones are built by the body. New cells of the bone after a period of time. Medo asti. Asti is bone. Then from the asti, bone, it will become marrow. Rasad rectam tado mamsam mamsametah prajayate. Medo asti tado majja. Majja shukrasya sambhavaha. At last, the 7th root, semen, is formed. So it's a detailed process of the body. From the food, it will be converted to a compost. From the compost, blood is formed. From the blood, mamsam, the flesh is formed. All these 7 things combined together to become a body. That's why we have mandala. Mandala means 48 days. Why this 48 days is being important for in our daily life? Because it is told that semen of a female or a male is formed from a food after 6 mandalam, almost 48 days into 6. Our food will be converted to a blood after certain mandalam, 48 days. And after that, flesh, it will be converted after 1.5 mandalam. There is a measure for all these things. Mandalam, 1 mandalam means 48 days. You know, when you put mala for Shabarimala, for the pilgrimage, they say that 1 mandala kalam you have to be in vrata with mala. 41 days, 48 days, like that. Why this duration, time duration? Your body will be completely cleaned. New cells, new thoughts, new ideas. That's why. So Shankara wants to say that each and every body is just a combination of sapta dhatu, 7 things which doesn't have any attraction if you see them separately. Edam mamsa vasadi vikaram, mamsa, adi, etc. means our blood from the flesh up to that 7 elements, dhatus. They are the modification of these 7 things. The food is been converted to blood and then converted into flesh. Don't get attracted of anything. These are just flesh and bones. Anything comes out of our sapta dwarani, it feels secretion or some bad smell. You can understand that, when our nose is running, when our saliva comes, when our urine, whatever it may be, it doesn't have a good smell. As long as the Paramatma, the vital force is there, it seems to be very much attractive. After that, they are just to another fertilizer for our plant. You can dig a hole and bury on that. That's all. Shankara is going to say, just I want to focus on this mantra. You don't get attracted by the female parts, female body parts. It was only an illusion, hey Muda. Ma moham. Don't get deluded by all these fallacies which you have acquired right from the beginning from the parents, from the friends, because friends are the main culprits. You do this, you do that. We see that movie. This girl is attractive. This boy is attractive. See this movie. There are some other things to see. There are some other. They are the main culprits. The samskara being not there, we fall a prey for all these things. Our body parts become unattractive for us. Really speaking, no attraction for any body parts. It's just a tool to reach Bhagavan, to reach the Lord. Don't get any kind of attraction towards your body parts. It's only your natural instinct. Natural instincts can be eliminated by applying certain technology in one's own life so that you can come out of your natural setup. You don't feel any attraction towards anything if you know the facts. That is another technology we apply in Yoga Shastra. In Yoga Shastra, they build up Vairagya by saying everything is to be separated from you, nothing is attracted. It's a big explanation in Yoga Shastra about Vairagya, a dispassion towards the external world. Nothing is attractive, nothing is to be taken into your life, even food, even these two things are mainly the attractive things because we enjoy repeatedly the sex and food. They are the main obstacles in the spiritual path. That's why Shankara focused on first on the female or male attraction body parts and related to a bondage or a natural setup of a human being. So repeatedly we enjoy these two things, which are our main cause of our Janana Marana Samsara. Both are enjoyed repeatedly by us. Sattvic food you can eat as long as you live because you need some food to survive and to do certain sadhanas. Nothing wrong on that. But being an ascetic life is something very beautiful, very interesting. Having known this truth, you give a birth for your baby. You make a beautiful arranged marriage, and for that purpose, to bring a next generation, you find out a baby. You will have some relationship with a woman. After that, you again follow the spiritual path. Something very interesting. Even the Rishi says that. That's why in the Saptadhadus, Siman is very important. It is made preciously by our human body. So conserving the human semen, they say that it will make your energy more stronger and also give a lot of strength to your memory, etc., etc. A lot of things are there. related to the Yoga Shastra. Fine, we are not going more on that. We will come to the focus on this shlokan. Edan Janmam, Etad Mamsavasadi Vikara, modification of seven elements, which will be only a temporary attraction on that time. After that, you don't feel any attraction on after knowing the truth or after a period of time. See, there are two times, there are two particular times we enjoy, Our senses should be in full measure, then only we can enjoy. Or something should be available right in front of me, then only the enjoyment will happen. Both will be happening only very rarely in our life. Senses will lose their capacity to enjoy certain things after a period of time. Certain things will not be available after a period of time. It will go away from you. Either you will give up or they will give up. The things will go away from you or you will give up. These are all temporary. That's why in Mandukya Karika, Gaudapada Acharya says that Adau Anteja Yennasti Vartamanebi Tattatha Vidadaihi Sadrisha Santaha. What never existed before also, what never going to exist after a period of time also, you don't believe on that. Gaudapada Acharya says that. Then why Grihasthashramam is told in a elaborated way in Vedas? Of course, Shruti Mata is going in tune with your desires. Have a married life in front of Agni Karma and have a prajani, and again you focus on the spiritual path and your destination on your goal. It's not that you will end up all with the Grihasthashrama. It is, I can say that because of our ignorance only, we, from the Brahmacharyam, we go to the Grihasthashramam. We never go to Vanaprastha or Sannyasa. Just we will end up our life as a Grihastha. Four ashramas are elaborately explained. Grihastha ashrama is also meant to come out of the natural setup only. In a proper way, if you study under a spiritual teacher, they will explain you properly why Grihastha ashrama is told and how you have to use Grihastha ashrama. Okay, so these are all only mamsa vikaram. Don't get more attracted, because it's only a fallacy, it's an illusion. You give certain values which doesn't exist at any point of time on that thing. So this is why these ads, advertisements are always in front of us through TV. They just give an advertisement. If you apply this cream, you will become more glowing and shining and also get fair. It will not work any point of time. It's just a fallacy, Really speaking, making the hair black, making the hair grow, it will only according to your genus. There is no such oil which can make your hair grow. No. Don't apply all this Adivasi mudi and everything. You will lose your other hairs also. It's all just a fallacy, okay? And gray hair is your maturity. You need not even color that, okay? You accept yourself. That is the happiness which you can attain ever in your life. When you accept yourself, what you are, nobody can shake you. Nobody. Because you accept your durvasanas, sadvasanas, and the body setup, everything. Anybody can come in front of me. You will never shake because you accept yourself. And this is the truth what we revealed in Vedanta also. Because you are not an ordinary thing. You are all pervasive Paramatman. Fine. I am coming to the slogan. You are only seeing a combination of sapta datavaha, which doesn't have any attraction. You don't give a additional value for anything. You see the reality. May you become rational more than emotional. Your rational thinking can help you to see the truth behind each and everything. Then you come out of your natural setup and repeatedly you think again and again and again, because habitual errors need repeated corrections. You can come out today if you think because of my class. Tomorrow again you will get attracted with a female or a male. This is an habitual error, natural setup. You don't give up today itself. That's why the fourth line is very, very important. Manasi vichintaya varam varam. Varam means again and again. Whenever you feel an attraction towards a worldly thing, it is going to bite me as a scorpion, or it is going to give some tragedies only in my life. I will take to my life into spiritual path. I will keep a healthy relationship with everybody, whether it's a male or female. I don't involve in a deep emotional modification with my mind, and also will not have any emotional relationship with anybody, because it can cause some tragedies. Yes, household life have certain emotions. We accept that. Apart from that, lot of pitfalls are there around us. You don't go on that, because you focus on what is to be done in one's life, because a traditional teacher can only guide you, which is your real goal. All other can only give certain insights on worldly things, worldly studies. Only a traditional teacher can help you to give the real human goal, what is to be done in your life. Up to that, you correct your mistake daily. You know, when you have a value within oneself, from the 50,000 mistakes, it will be reduced into 5,000 mistakes. I always say, today onwards, I don't drink tea. Okay. After 1 week, you feel attracted again with the tea. Okay, you can take tea. But 6 days you didn't have tea. Your value made you to become more strengthened. So from the 5,000 mistakes, you make the mistakes to 500, little less. Again, little less. From the 500 mistakes, you make it into 50. Again, from the 50, you make into 5. Again, you become a matured person. I don't commit any mistake on that plane. I don't have any attraction towards anybody. I see them as the Lord, woman as a power of Shakti. I have total respect towards them, but I don't feel any attraction towards my body or others' body. Manasi vichintaya varam varam. These are nothing but modification of your food itself into 7 elements. They don't have itself any attraction. You don't give any attraction for them because of the fallacies and delusion. May you study under a traditional teacher and we come to know the real facts about the body and the things which you are feeling attracted. And also study some technologies which can help you to come out of the natural setup. This is why he make a clean cut fourth line. Manasi, in the mind. Chintaya, may you think every time. Whenever your mind will trigger you, mind will compel you to do a mistake with a male or a female. Varam varam chintaya. Habitual errors need repeated correction. Again and again you correct it. Again and again you make it clear. No, we are now sadhakas. We have a respective way of living. We respect each other. Our relation should be good till the world exists. We cannot spoil our relationship due to any attraction. My attraction is just a delusion. I don't consider that delusion can be impractical. I should make alive my mind to come out of the emotions, being rational, and lot of spiritual practices and disciplines will make me to come out of the natural setup. This is the concept of this slogan more than what is explained through the words. I given the concept behind what is told behind the slogan. This is the concept. Habitual errors need repeated correction. Food and sex are the repeated enjoyment in one's life, which are also pitfalls in one's life. It can deteriorate one's own health. It can deteriorate one's own senses. It can damage one's own body. Lot of things. So be a person who have certain diets. Be a person who having certain healthy relationship. So habitual error need repeated correction. Come out of the natural setups by applying certain technologies in one's life, and also continuously be in touch with a traditional teacher who can guide you whenever you fell into a pit. Because our own natural instinct will make us to fall in certain places. From there, somebody should give a hand and come out. Again, move forward. Now, next time you will not make mistake like that. Be always in touch with a traditional teacher. Now come to the next slogan. Let me check the time and we will start the explanation of the next slogan. Okay. Yeah, we will read the next slogan. I am sorry because today because of the fog and the things, I cannot come in the proper time. I was trying a lot. So I'm sorry for 5-10 minutes. I'm late, but fine. I am happy to have the class with you. So I will read the shloka and I will stop the session now after reading the shloka. And in the next session, we will explain the meaning of that shloka and its concept. Okay. So shloka number 4. Nalini dalagata Jalamati taralam tattva jeevitam adishaya chapalam vidivyadi abhimana krastam logam shokahadam cha samastam bhaja govindam Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. I will conclude the section now. Thank you for joining for another successful session. See you, all of you, in the next session. Okay? Vinayaji, very happy to see you again. Every Saturday, I'm waiting to see all of you, and also Vinayaji also, because she was my classmate and we had a very beautiful time here in Rishikesh, because she's always guided me, and we have a very good, beautiful trip to Gangotri, etc. She will explain all the things. Okay. Thank you. Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you.
Om Hari Om.